Here is the English translation of the provided text, keeping your content and paragraph structure intact. Lord Ye's love for dragons. During the spring and autumn period, in the town of Yi of the State of Chu, there was a magistrate named Shen Zhuliang, whom everyone respectfully called Lord Yi. Lord Yi especially liked dragons. In his home, walls were painted with dragons, pillars carved with dragons, tables and chairs engraved with dragons, and all kinds of utensils also depicted dragon patterns. Entering Lord Ye's house was like being immersed in a world of dragons. Lord Ye would boast to anyone about the majesty and mystery of dragons, speaking endlessly, making anyone who saw him feel that he was obsessed with dragons to the extreme. Lord Ye's love for dragons spread its wings and soon became known throughout the entire state of Chu. This matter even startled the real dragon in the heavens. The true dragon thought, "There is actually someone who loves me so much in this world. I must visit him and thank him properly for his deep affection." Thus, on a night filled with thunder and lightning and howling winds, the true dragon descended from the clouds and came to Lord Ye's home. It first cautiously stretched its head into the window, wanting to see if Lord Ye was at home. Then, it dragged its long tail into the hall. Its massive body and majestic presence instantly enveloped the whole house in an atmosphere of mystery and solemnity. Lord Yi, who was resting inside, hearing the raging wind outside and the sound of thunder, could not help but feel somewhat curious. He stood up and was about to go out to see what had happened. At that moment, he inadvertently looked up and saw a huge dragon's head stretching in from outside the window, two giant eyes staring intently at him, revealing a mysterious and solemn gaze. Lord Yi turned pale as paper, eyes wide open, mouth agape, as if he had seen something extremely terrifying. He wanted to shout for help, but something seemed to block his throat, preventing him from making any sound. He wanted to turn and run away, but his legs felt nailed to the ground, unable to move. After a while, Lord Yi finally regained his senses. He used all his strength, suddenly turned around, and ran desperately towards the other end of the room. While running, he shouted loudly, "Help! Help! There's a monster!" His voice was full of fear and despair, as if coming from the depths of hell. Seeing Lord Ye's terrified appearance, the true dragon was very surprised and disappointed. It had originally thought that Lord Ye genuinely loved it, but when it truly appeared before Lord Ye, he was frightened to such a pitiful state. The true dragon shook its head helplessly, sighed softly, then turned and flew back into the sky, disappearing into the vast night. As for Lord Ye, after this scare, he no longer dared to say he liked dragons. Even when he saw dragon patterns or heard others talk about dragons, he would turn pale and tremble all over, quickly finding an excuse to leave. This story tells us that some people appear to like something on the surface, but when they face it truly, they find it is not so. We should be sincere in our likes and avoid being superficial, becoming a person like Lord Ye, who is inconsistent inside and out.